Roll call.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman, Baker, Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Jefferson.
Here.
We have quorum, Mr. President.
All right. Citizens, does that apply for this one? I guess it does. Who wish to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward to the president or the clerk of the commission. Comments by any citizen will be limited to 3 minutes. I'll turn this over to our committee chairman, Mr. Escaday.
Okay. Do these. We'll just go ahead and take them in the list of order. The first case we'll hear will be the fast food Exxon on North Market. Is somebody here representing them?
Adopt the rules.
Please come forward. First thing we need to do is go ahead and adopt our rules for procedure. So moved.
Second.
Any objections? Passes without exception. Okay, and whichever deputy is going to present the case, please come forward.
Okay, both of you, please raise your hand. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And you do?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, deputy, bring us up to date and speed on this, please.
723, the Sheriff's Office Youth Service Division, we can conducted a underage alcohol sale buying operation in Caddo Parish, and about 16:20 in the afternoon we went to 5875 North Market, which we call the Exxon, 1 and 538, Highway 1 and 538, and Clerk Regina Luster sold alcohol to our underage CI, and I was the person in the store that witnessed the sale.
Okay.
She did ask for an ID. She checked the ID, and then she still sold.
Did she run it through a machine, or she visually checked it? Do you know?
Checked it.
She checked it. Okay. Would you identify yourself for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Laura Bratton. I'm a district manager for Food Fast Exxon.
Okay. What would you like to add to this?
As I said, I'm a district manager. I just moved here from Jackson, Mississippi. I can tell you, I've only been here the past 2 weeks. I can tell you that the employee, Regina Luster, was terminated, as was the manager and the district manager during this time.
All as a result of this?
Some of it, well, definitely for the employee.
Okay.
But other parts, yes, were related to lack of doing proper procedures. I can tell you since then, we've had our human resources come over to educate. We've done a training course with every employee, not only at this location, but all of our locations throughout Louisiana. We've also paid for every employee to go through the responsible vendor classes, and we have a computer-based training course. So in 3 different ways they are trained on how to properly card an ID, and our policy is that we card anybody who appears to be under the age of 30. Also, too, we did have one of the scanning machines at that property, but we have purchased them for every location. So we're doing some training, and I think that there was a lack of at the time. We've definitely taken this as a #1 priority to change the behavior.
You had a scanning machine at that
We did.
location. The employee didn't use it?
Correct.
Okay. So you've been brought in to clean up this mess, and I'm sure in other things.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
Correct.
what offense is this for this particular entity? First, second?
I show it as a second since going back to December 23rd, 2011 was the last time they fought.
Okay.
So
Have second within 12-month calendar year.
I know that, I'm sorry, can I?
Sure.
I know when I was talking to Todd a while ago, I heard him say that this is the first.
This is their second offense, but this is actually their first offense since the sale of the company, which was Sefco bought them, I guess, the first of this year.
Actually, no, it's been, it'll be a year at the end of this month.
Okay. So does that make it 2 or 1?
That's two.
I think that's 2.
Make it 2 if
Okay.
it was.
Make it two.
I'm sorry. I just trying to... clarification on that.
Okay, are you aware that, or I hope you are, of the parish's ordinance in place that govern this? Okay, we'll now determine what we're going to do. You know, if, I wish you all the luck in the world. Last thing we want to do is shut a business down. Last thing in the world we want to do is cost local employees their jobs. But we are serious about protecting our youth here. If you get another offense within 12 months, you'll be facing revocation or suspension, one or the other, more than likely. So let's be clear on that it's imperative that your employees play ball. And I realize that the buck stops with you, and you can't be everywhere, and you can't control one road employee, but I wish you the best. This time I'll accept or entertain a motion from the floor. Sure.
Where exactly is this located? Is it on,
Market Street North?
what's it by? Is this the one by Channel 6?
No, it's the one further north.
By Blanchard, by McDonald's?
Blanchard, close to basically the Northwood High School.
Okay, all right.
Highway 1 and Highway 538.
Okay. That's on the corner of mine and Commissioner Johnson's district. So I just wanted to make sure I know where I was at. But basically, y'all had a scanner, the person just didn't use the scanner.
Correct.
And you're saying you're taking the measures to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully you're not here before us again, because I go there all the time, of course.
Well, we've got,
Not do anything.
we brought a different manager in. We're taking this very seriously.
Mr. Epperson?
Yes, Mr. Epperson.
I'd like to make a motion that that the retailer be charged the second offense of $750.
Second. It's been moved and seconded according to our ordinance. We follow the letter of the ordinance, second offense violation for $750 fine. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next case, John Henry's, first and last place.
I think it's been moved, is that correct, Todd?
Excuse me?
Is John Henry, is that
John Henry's is today.
It is today? Yes.
Corporal, proceed.
Y'all not, wait, did y'all vote?
Yes.
Yes. It was unanimous.
We didn't do it machine, it was just unanimous.
You need us to do the machine?
I'd prefer to do it by machine if we could.
Well, I didn't realize you had that, but that's fine. Okay. All right, Deputy.
Oh, I'm sorry. On July 23rd, at about 14:24 hours, at 11650 Highway 80, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office Youth Services Division, we were performing an underage sale of alcohol. I did observe a sale with a confidential informant at the business John Henry's first and last place, Chance, thank you, located at this address. Ms. Stephanie Freeman Gwynn. She did receive an identification from the confidential informant. I did watch as she did look at the identification through the window and pass it back to the confidential informant and sold a 24-ounce Corona beer at that location.
That's all you have? All right, ma'am, come forward, state your name, please.
I'm Arlene Jones, and manage John Henry's first and last chance.
Okay, Ms. Jones, do you dispute these facts, or do you have a different version of what happened?
No, she did sell it. I wasn't there when she did, but she did sell it. She didn't get a chance to complete I don't know if that makes any difference or not. She didn't get a chance to complete the transaction. He left before she could do it.
Who left?
Whoever, the underage person, she carded him, according to what she told me, she carded him, and she said that it just didn't register, and then when she checked it on the calculator, because we don't have a scanner, when she checked it on the calculator, she realized he was only, I think, 19 or 20. And as she was going back to the window to get it back and give him his money back, whoever it was that came through left.
Oh, okay, so transaction was, a bona fide transaction taking place. He had received the merchandise, she received the money. It went that far?
Right.
Okay, well.
Like I said, I don't know if it makes the difference. So.
No, not really. I'm sorry. Are you going to invest in that scanning technology? It's not expensive.
Yes. Well, actually, he sold the business, so he's out. We're out of it.
It's under new ownership?
It's under new ownership.
Okay. As of when? When did that happen?
Monday. Last Monday.
It's Monday. Do we have any type of verification of that?
No, sir.
Deputy. Is this the first or second offense within a 12-month calendar year?
Second.
Second? Yes, sir. Please.
I was just
Sergeant.
to confirm that this is a second back on February.
Come up to the mic if you would, sir.
February 10th, 2012.
So that happened under the old owner's watch.
Sir.
These offenses occurred under the previous owner's
Yes.
tenure. Hey.
The other employee was let go, and
Okay. So we have a new owner.
yes.
My question, I guess, would be for legal is, who do we find?
So, it's my
Mr. Escaday,
Pardon me?
can we ask Ms. Washington to come up, because she actually handles these liquor license, and
Absolutely.
give a little information on this?
That's
Would that
fine,
be
but I
okay?
mean, if the license was in the previous owner's name and that both offenses were under that license, I'm just trying to find out who is responsible, and I would assume, just common sense dictates, it's the previous owner.
That's correct.
12.
So, we find the previous owner. If he can be located, is he local, the previous owner? Did you work for him? He's around?
He is, and they are expecting it. The address.
Can you get the microphone, please?
Pardon me? Yes.
I'll give you his bookkeeper's address where you can send the amount or whatever, like you did last time.
Okay.
And then they will pay it.
And we need to establish the fact that, for our records and the Sheriff's Department records, that this is under new ownership, so their calendar's going to start clean under the new owner, and the previous owner will be responsible. Anybody have any questions?
Mr. Lynn.
Yes, Mr. Lynn?
Officer, I'm curious, did the person who was purchasing the alcohol, did they leave without the alcohol and leave without their change in money both?
No, sir, the transaction was made completely. The confidential informant left before receiving all the change. The actual transaction took place. The alcohol was actually in the vehicle, passed by the sales clerk.
That's what I was curious. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Dominic.
What are you saying, the previous owner, I guess, is John Henry, is that correct?
Yes.
He was sold out this past Monday,
Right. He did.
and you were working there before,
Yes.
and you're still working there?
No.
You're not working there
No.
anymore?
They just asked me to come down here.
Okay. And John Henry doesn't have anything to do with the new ownership?
No.
He's not kin related, has
No.
no interest in
No.
the new ownership whatsoever?
No.
That's all I have.
Mr. Johnson.
That was my question. Was the business sold to another relative?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Epperson.
I'd like to make a motion that John Henry's be fined $750 according to the ordinances for 2 offenses. If he is the owner prior to, you said, okay, prior to the date of the new sale.
It's been moved and seconded that John Henry's, the previous owner, preceding Monday, be fined $750. Second offense. Also knowing that we need to identify that this business is under new ownership and the calendar starts over for this owner. Is there any discussion
I have
on the
got
motion?
we did like at the post office change of address. So I meant, normally it goes to the business, but if you want his bookkeeper's,
I'm gonna get it from him.
address.
Yeah, we'll get all that information from him.
I'm gonna get it from
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
Don't have any.
Let's vote, please. Passes unanimously. Thank you for coming down. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Longwood General Store. Hello, gentlemen. Deputy, proceed, please.
On April 20th, 2012, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office Youth Service Division conducted an underage alcohol buying operation. At about 6:15 p.m., I went into the Longwood General Store located at 3502 Highway 1 in Lawrenceport with 18-year-old CI. The CI purchased a six-pack of Bacardi Silver from the store clerk identified as Robin A. Jackson. The store clerk actually asked for his ID and looked at it. I don't know if she miscalculated his age, but she did make the sale to the CI.
You said your CI was 18?
Yes.
All right, is that all you have, Deputy?
Yes.
Gentlemen, please come to the mic and give us your names, please, for the record.
I'm Bill Wyndham. I represent the ownership. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, members of the commission, I came down today. I've got Mr. Decker, who's our Vice President of Operations, who can answer the detailed questions. I wanted to express to you that not only morally and ethically we take this obligation we have not to allow minors to purchase alcohol. We take it very, very seriously. We also are licensed in multiple jurisdictions with our gaming operations. It's very serious. As you know, the licenses are tied together. So I wanted to let you know individually that we are on top of this and we don't take it lightly. And so with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have for me, but I will turn it over to Mr. Decker if that's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wyndham.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Decker.
Hi, my name is Mike Decker. We do multiple things to prevent the sale to minors. We have the scanners in place. We have numerous things. I have a letter here of basically what we do. Again, I'd like to hand it out to you guys so at least you can see the steps that we have. But we do have the scanners. In this particular instance, we did use the scanner as well. We have prompts on our register system that ask you to put in the birth date. We have multiple things in place to be able to eliminate this from occurring. There was a breakdown with the clerk on this matter, and we continually reinforce this stuff with our employees. Like Mr. Wyndham said, it's a very, very serious matter for us, and I'd like to answer any questions you have.
Did you say that the system was used?
Yes, she did scan the card. She actually scanned it 3 times. I reviewed the video. I wasn't present when it occurred, and I don't know, it just indicates the age of the person. And she told me it said 21. Obviously it didn't. We've upgraded our scanners at this point now, where I have a software program that I can go in when somebody scans and actually know what the license said. So if she's telling me, yeah, it said 21, but the person was actually 18, at least I have that now. We spent $600 on that. We're trying to take every step that we can to eliminate this. And we know it all ends up in the clerk's hands at that point, and we're still responsible. We understand that as well.
I believe, and I could be wrong, that there's, I don't know, you may have the system in place, that there's technology available that once this license is scanned, if they're underage, it puts a lock on the register. The transaction can't proceed unless they override it. And then you know you have someone intentionally doing something they shouldn't be doing. Do you
Actually, this is a separate unit from the register that we had in place, and it still requires you to punch in a birth date on the register. And apparently, they put in their own birth date because it makes the sale go quicker, and I can't block that. So,
what's the status? What's the employee status at this time?
She was terminated immediately that evening.
Okay.
But the new scanner is what Ms. Escudé is referring to, right?
No, no, it isn't.
I apologize.
It's okay. Any questions?
That Mr. Dominic?
Well, I think Commissioner Escaday pretty much asked them and you answered them. I guess the one question I have is this the second offense within a year? Can anybody answer that? I mean...
Yes.
Come to the mic, please.
It's 10/26 of 2011. They sold on that date as well. And this is the second one since. I mean, this is the second one.
Was that owned by your company at that time?
Yeah, I believe it was. Yes. I represented to Mr. Thibodeau earlier. I was not aware of that second violation until Mr. Hopkins brought it to my attention when I was talking to him last week, I believe. So I guess it's went as far as the clerk. And when I say I'm speaking as ownership. Mike knew about it later. But the clerk was ticketed, and that was as far as the information went at that time.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming here today. It sounds like y'all realize the importance and that this is a very important thing to the sheriff and to the parish. And we can't have that continuing going on. Y'all are actually in my district. I know exactly where you're at. I knew the former owner. Hope to get to know y'all and work with y'all. Hope you thrive as a business, and we don't want to hurt a business, but at the same time, there are rules and regulations that we have to follow. I'm glad to see that the clerk was terminated, but y'all are going to have to, so to speak, nip it in the bud, make sure that your other clerks don't do this again, because this is the second time. Y'all get hit the third time, and like Commissioner Escaday said, you're looking at revocation or suspension. That's all I have right now.
Mr. Wyndham.
Yes, sir.
I have two questions for you. What was the letter that you received that was hand delivered to you?
It was hand delivered, I think, to Mike, and Mike brought it to me. Yes, sir.
Was it clear as to what you were being called here for today?
No, sir. Well, that's probably because of my lack of understanding. But I was made aware by Mike when this occurred. I believe it was in March or April. And quite frankly, so much time had gone by, I thought that something else had occurred, that this was something new. So I may have, confused the facts along.
Okay.
I'm perfectly capable of confusing things.
Well, I am too.
More times than not.
Comes. If you live long enough, you get old.
I resemble that remark, but Mr. Dominic, I will again assure you, we take it as serious, if not more so than you do, both morally and ethically, but statutorily, regulatory-wise, we've got a lot at stake, employees, investment. It's not something that can be tolerated, and we're doing everything other than human factor that we can do, and we're going to do better about that. Again, perhaps I thought we had bought the scanner that was tied into the register, but apparently maybe we have to make that upgrade. But we had it on video. We have the weekly instructions. Mike is on them because it's just very, very important. This is not something we have happen to us in our other locations, I've got to tell you.
A little different up north. Any other questions?
Mr. Epperson.
Mr. Wyndham, are you familiar with Section 4-118 of this ordinance? It says every retailer shall post in a prominent place clearly visible a copy of Chapter 4 of the Code of Ordinances of Parish of Caddo.
We have all that posted.
We did away with it.
Is that the parish rules?
We did away with that.
Parish ordinance. Have we not done away with that requirement? I thought we discussed in the meeting, or have we acted on it? Did we act on that, Todd?
No.
Yeah. We didn't act on it?
I don't believe so. My recollection is that you all have not actually taken action on any of the recommendations you all had at your last meeting.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, Ken.
It's still late.
Okay.
That's all I have. On that. I'm up next. I just had one question on it. On your first notice that you got, do we know what address who that was sent to?
Yes, I sent it to their Bossier. I can tell you, I sent it to the Bossier City.
That was the first
address, the first one. After they got their violation in April, I sent a letter to the Bossier City address.
Right.
Is that your office?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so y'all did receive, it went to the correct place then?
Yes, sir. The April letter?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've got Mr. Johnson.
I'd like to make a motion that we follow the ordinance and do the second offense, $750 fine.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded that we go along with policy, procedure, and institute a second offense. Fine. Is there any discussion on that motion? If not, please vote.
Smith, your vote's not up. Escobar, yours is not up.
The attorney, if she wants a copy.
John, your vote's not.
John, your vote didn't register.
There it is.
All right.
Okay, that passes. Yeah, Mr. Winton, the other thing I want to mention to you is we previously had had problems notifying the business owners. We delivered to the business address, the clerk would intercept the mail or the manager or something and never get to the owner, and that's why, and you not know that you had a problem, and you need to know you have a problem. So that's why we instituted these policies, and I appreciate you coming down here today, and I know you're a good citizen, and I know you'll do what you need to do, and we appreciate you.
And I will add, Mr. Decker's actually officing at the location next door.
Right.
Because he's over all of our facilities in Louisiana, but he's officing there at least through the transition that we've gotten along with, kind of worked out of this challenge.
Well, very good. We wish you much success.
And we've got this written list of what our requirements were. Could I enter that with our...
Yes, you can just leave a copy with the parish attorney, it'd be fine.
Clerk?
Okay.
Thank you for coming down, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Quick Pantry, Highway 1 and Vivian. All right, Sergeant.
As I stated earlier, this was the same operation on 723. We went into
Come in front of the microphone, please.
As I stated earlier, this was the same operation on 723. We went into the quick pantry located at 15585 Highway 1 in Vivian. I was the undercover officer that went in with the CI. The CI purchased a 6-pack of Coors Light beer from the clerk. Amy Gonzalez, the beer cost $7. She did not check his ID. Sold him the alcohol.
All right, is that all you have, Deputy?
That's all.
Let's give you your name, please.
Sherry Alcon.
Okay. What would you like to say?
That's correct. She sold it, and I asked her, I terminated her, and she said she had something on her mind, and that's the excuse she gave her.
Do you have, did they do a visual check, or do you have the scanners?
I have enabled a machine also, but she never used it. She didn't use it.
She didn't even ask for that.
Didn't even ask?
Yeah,
for
she,
the ID?
and I asked her, and she just said she had something on her mind, and I didn't have any control on that.
Are you, do you work out of those premises regularly?
Yes, I was in the cooler at that time. I was there. I was in the beer cooler when that happened. When I came out, I saw the officer, and I asked her what happened, and she told me she had something on her mind, and I said, you need to leave, and she just left right there and then. I was there.
All right. And what offense are we looking at, Sergeant?
We got one back on 10/26, 2011. We got one on 2/10 of 2012, and then this one, so this will be the third.
This is the third. All right. How much, I'm just going to ask some questions before we get into this. What percentage of your sales are liquor sales?
Around, should be like 65% at least, because I have liquor too.
65%?
Beer and liquor.
How many employees do you have?
Now it's just another person who's been there for 4 years, and I'm going to work there now. I guess I can't afford to hire anybody else there because it keeps on happening. So it's just her, and she's pretty responsible, and it's me, because I can't hire anybody, because every time I hire anybody, they don't really care about the business.
Okay, any questions?
Mr. Epperson?
Mine's been answered. I just want to know how many offenses previous.
Dominic, we were here before. Did we hear?
Yes, I
Did we
was.
hear both cases at that time?
Yeah, this
So
is,
that first, when we were here before, I'm asking the clerk, he was here for the second offense. That's
correct.
So we heard both cases at that time.
Correct.
And I think at that time you said you were going to get a scanner. You have a scanner, the person
Yes,
the
but she
person
didn't
uses
use
the
it.
scanner.
she didn't even check the ID, nothing.
I mean, you know,
And I do have a letter which the previous fine I did was $500, and I have a letter that says first offense fine, so I don't know if this one is the second one or the third one, I'm not sure, but the letter I got over here, April 12, 2012, and I paid $500, it says first offense. So I don't know if this is the second, or I have the letter over here.
this is the third offense. I don't know.
We have that fully documented, Sergeant? That this is indeed a third offense?
This is their third cell. Now, what letter I don't know if that letter fined him for, I don't know if that letter,
I don't know if the letter fined him for 10/26 of 2011 or for 2/10 of 2012.
Do you recall, did we hear both those cases
No, sir, I don't.
at the same time?
Well, it shows that they did approve a $500 fine. But if you would grant me, I can walk back and pull it off my
Okay,
computer.
we need to find out if that fine was for both of those cases and whether or not we were combining them as one or not before we proceed.
Yeah.
So in light of that information, I'd like to go ahead and we'll just temporarily defer this for the next moment, move on to the next case, if that's okay with the body. That's fine. Is that okay? Y'all can have a seat, gentlemen, and we'll take on the issue of the rustic cowboy from Keithville. How are you, sir? We'll let the deputy and detective go, and then you can go. Detective?
Detective Jared Marshall.
Yes, thank you.
On 4/20/2012, we took part in an underage alcohol sting operation in Caddo Parish. During the operation, myself and the confidential informant went to the Rustic Cowboy located at 12780 Mansfield Road. When we entered the business, the CI approached the front of the bar, and ordered two 12-ounce Bud Lights from the clerk, Ashley Jones. The clerk asked for the CI's ID. The CI presented his valid ID to the clerk. The clerk looked at the ID and said, 13, you're making me feel old. The clerk handed the ID back to the CI. The CI handed the clerk the money, and the clerk finalized the sale of the alcohol. I informed the deputy outside of the bar, and he entered the business and issued the summons.
You have anything else to add?
That's it.
Okay, sir, your name, please?
My name's Jackie Brock. I own the Rustic Cowboy.
You're the owner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Okay, basically, we run a very tight ship at the bar. I don't have a scanner in place yet, but I've been looking into getting one, and basically, we make sure that everybody has an ID that steps foot into the building. It doesn't matter how old you are. I have a zero tolerance policy for anybody not checking an ID before they make the sale. And so I wasn't actually there when this event happened, but I came up there as soon as it was over, and Miss Jones was in the back laying down on the floor hyperventilating in the back because I was coming in to fire her. And however, my business is under very heavy surveillance. And so, I just said, look, let me watch these video cameras before I decide what I'm going to do to you, And so I watched the cameras, and like the detective said, she did look at the IDs. And, I brought a flash drive with her checking them because it wasn't like she just glanced at them, kind of half-heartedly and handed them back. She actually looked at them and did speak back, to the undercover guy before she gave him the beer. She swears it said 1989 on it, and she was freaking out doing that. And I can't say what the ID said on it, and I'm not here disputing the fact that this happened, but what I would like to know is, like, in the future, if something like this happens, my bar manager came up and asked if he could have a look at the ID that she was shown
to prevent this from ever happening to anybody else, so we could see what kind of mistake she made, whether it was a fake ID, she just misread the birth date on there or whatever, and he was refused, the opportunity to get to look at the ID because it was at that time evidence in this crime. And that's really all I've got. We do respect the law and do the best that we can to keep these kinds of things from happening, minus not actually having a scanner right now.
Do you have one of those calendar things I've seen that says, you got to be born on this date?
Yes, sir. And
you tear up a sheet every day so that you know.
Well, they keep it written above the cash register.
And she looked at it and just got the math wrong.
She said she thinks the ID said 1989 on it.
Okay, well, I can, I'm going to assure you of anything, I'll assume this, that the Sheriff's Department and with their CIs do not use fake IDs, they use their real IDs. And if somebody enters your business and purchases with a fake ID, they're not going to be with the Sheriff's Department. They're going to be somebody that's got a fake ID. And I'm not really sure what the law, which is an interesting question, provides in the event that a transaction happens with a bona fide ID that looks pretty fake, So, what did you do with the employee?
I didn't fire her because I watched her check the IDs, and then when I received my summons to pay the state fine down in Baton Rouge, I actually had, an attorney that I was going to go down there with me and bring like my video presentation and do the, the whole 9 yards and everything, and then we just calculated the, the time versus math and all that kind of stuff because, she swears it said 89 and she's never messed up, for me before.
I understand. People make mistakes, but it's like the dyslexic saying, it looked like it was 55, the speed limit looked 22 when it was 55,
Yes, sir.
And I don't say that lightly, but she just made a mistake. Is this a first offense or second offense for this business, Sergeant?
I would like to point out, and
Sure.
I certainly appreciate.
Microphone.
I certainly appreciate the position that any business is in, but not only are the CI's IDs real, we do background checks and all that, and I know y'all are not disputing that, and we keep all that on record. The reason that the CI's ID would not have been shown is because we protect them. We protect our CIs. We're not trying to get them identified. Also, a lot of times business owners, the clerk they don't always know who they sold. They'll look back over the night and say, well, I checked this one, I checked, but we don't tell them what CI it is. We leave the store with that CI, and then we send a uniformed officer in. So they're never really sure, but now I know when they go back and check their videos, they can pretty much pinpoint it. But what I want to point out, the most important thing is the IDs that we use, Louisiana driver's license now, when you're under 21, over on the side, forget the birth date, forget every other piece of information, on that driver's license in red letters, bigger than any other lettering on the driver's license, it says under 21 until 2013, 2014, 2015. It says it. And we have copies of these driver's licenses. They don't have to do math. They don't have to look above the cash register, under the cash register, or in it.
How long has the state been doing that?
I don't know how long, sir, they've been doing it, but I know that it's on the driver's license that we use, and it.
Well, if they've been doing it for over, let's say, 4 years, then everyone out there should have one.
All she has to do is look right there, and it says under 20. It's the only thing in red on the driver's license, under 21 until 2013, 2014, whenever. I don't remember.
Is that the case with this CI?
Yes, sir. All our CIs since I've been sergeant.
Have you, what are you doing? Are you training your people? Have you training them more on this?
Yes, sir. I'm in the process of looking to get a scanner system so we can just totally not have this happen ever again.
Without the scanner, he just brought a real interesting point. If that's the case, unless they're out of state, if they're Louisiana, then it should be a no-brainer. I don't know what other states do. I do know, for example, in D.C. a couple of years ago with my son, who's a college student, who's 24 years old, and you know, how we are in Louisiana, we're cheap, so we get the stickers for our renewals, and you know, his license was issued when he was under 21, but you know, they didn't know what to make with the renewal sticker, didn't know it was real or nothing, you know.
Sure.
So, but in Louisiana, that should take care of it. Is this the first offense for this business?
Yes, so the last one I showed was back in 2009.
How long have you owned the business?
Since 2009.
2009. Okay,
Sir.
so
She was fired on the spot. She didn't even check the ID in 2009. You know, somebody walked in, ordered a beer, and she sold it to him.
don't want anybody losing their job over an honest mistake. But now, you know, you've got further information you may in your training, and I don't know what you're using to tell them. It's a Louisiana license. I mean, you got to look at the red. It's pretty easy, and you don't have to do any math. Sorry.
Yes, sir. I mean, I can't believe, I mean, I'm baffled right now at the fact that it said that on the ID and she didn't see it. You know, I mean, I can understand her making a mistake on the number, but not, I mean, that I can't say anything else knowing that, you know.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes, I'm on the board. I got you.
Mr. Brock, how long before you think you'll get the scanner in?
Hopefully, I guess within the month or so, you know. Honestly, I'm talking to somebody about potentially buying it from me, you know, but as long as
You're talking about it's a bar, or is it a...
I'm talking about everything.
It's a bar, though, right? It's not a convenience store.
It's a bar.
Okay.
It's a bar.
Have y'all checked this? Have y'all ever gone in there before where he did pass, no problems?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
We go in, every time we do a buy, we pretty much, they're all the same.
Okay.
And, yes, I've been in there before as the undercover one day. And as a matter of fact, I don't even remember who the clerk was, but I always try to, if I have any clerk that ever gets confused and ends up doing the right thing, not selling, but I could tell they were confused, after I remove the CI, I go back in and show them the red letter to try to somewhat educate them, just hoping that the word would get out. But yes, they've passed many times.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
You happen to be in my district, and I know where your business is, and I will tell you what I've heard about your business, the rowdiness and the carrying on, the crowds out there. So when you say you run a tight ship, evidently the people living in my district don't think that. So I don't have much sympathy for you. The people out there do not respect your business. Maybe those who drink do. But you always have a bunch of crowds out there and rowdiness, and evidently some fights going on. I don't know. But I vote that we give him the full fine, and I hope the sheriffs watch his business very closely.
Mr. West? Glenn?
Most everything's been covered. I was curious if you were a bar with a liquor license or a restaurant with a liquor license. As a bar with a liquor license, no one can enter the building underneath the age of 21.
Correct.
And I was going to encourage you if you could put somebody at the door with the scanner to check people before they ever even walk in. And then if there's a question, the bartenders could do it as well. And then also to attest to the integrity of our sheriff's department that everybody lives off the taxes that the businesses pay, and nobody's in the business of shutting a legitimate company down. And so there's no shenanigans, and that I can attest that I'm 100% confident it was a legitimate driver's license with no alterations to it. I moved to charging for $500 first offense.
Second.
Moved and seconded, charging $500 for first offense.
Got Mr. Johnson.
I was just going to say that I would appreciate that in the future, if you ever come before this body or any other governmental body, that you remove the cap.
I apologize.
All right, any discussion on the motion? If not, please vote.
That's it.
All right, motion carries. Thank you and good luck to you. Sergeant, or either one of you. Before we proceed with the final case, the scanning machines that we use are most of the states, do they have barcode technology on their driver's license now? Or is it universal to be able to scan, say, a Texas license or a Mississippi license and have that machine work? Do you know?
That I don't know, no, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'll take Lyndon's word for it.
I had the technology at the plant.
Oh, do you? Okay. And secondly, and this, I'm not trying to fry your brain or something. If we don't have the answer to the question, I'd like it. If in the event someone purchases with a fake license and it's discovered, what's the deal?
Working for us, working as a city.
I'm not. No, not working for us. Just what if it ever came about that was discovered? Who's liable for what? I mean, is there some protection or
minor status crime?
Well, I would think that if somebody's going in there and buying alcohol with a fake ID, and they're not a CI for the sheriff's office, I would venture to guess it's probably not going to be found out.
Well, okay. When you discover fake IDs, are the holder of the fake IDs, every now and then you run across those, are they the ones charged with something? Is that a criminal offense for an underage person to have a fake ID?
If I was posed with that question, the underage person had received that alcohol unlawfully, and that person then would be charged with possession of alcohol by an underage person. They personally, the underage person, would be cited, not the business. I can't see how they would be held responsible.
That's kind of what I thought. Very good. Okay, we'll go ahead now and we'll move back to the quick pantry. Okay, Mr. Hopkins has researched and provided me information, and I'm going to read you the discussion from the minutes of our April 2nd, 2012 meeting. And it said, answering a question from Mr. Dominic on previous citations, the clerk stated the paperwork he looked over did not show any previous citations. Lieutenant Hall stated he was not aware of any previous citations. So at the time we heard those cases, we were under the impression it was a first offense and he was fined accordingly. So, what is the determination of this body?
When was this then?
April 2nd, 2012. So, we have never really taken up the issue of the second offense because we weren't aware of one. According to our minutes, and unless the Sheriff's Department wants to dispute that.
No, sir. I do have it here that back in 10/26 of 2011 there was a buy there, but it's very possible that since that meeting that we've gone back and updated all our records. But hey, I have no problem at all with him with the standing of the last
since
meeting.
that wasn't brought up, and the
Yes,
last
sir.
time we've talked to this gentleman, both the clerk and the Sheriff's Department conceded that was the only one they were aware of at the time, and we worked under that assumption.
Yes, sir.
I suggest at the pleasure of the body that we are looking at a second offense. Mr. Epperson?
I'd like to make a motion that we charge quick pantry number 2, $750 fine, second offense.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we apply a second offense violation to quick pantry, fine of $750. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, hold on. Please. I've gone in your store before. I'm sure you've seen me there. I don't know if you've seen me there before, but I go to your store every now and then. It's a pleasant store. And as these other commissioners said, we don't want to hamper, your ability to operate your store, but at the same time, you're going to have to realize that this is a very, very serious thing. And I'm sitting here thinking, a while ago, before we listen to all this stuff, about suspending you up to 45 days. And I'm telling you, if you get hit again, you're going to be looking at that, if not worse. You're going to have to make sure that your other employees do not sell to anybody underage. We just can't continue to have this happening in the parish. The sheriff should be commended for the job that he and you guys are doing, because he and I have spoken. I mean, if one of these minor kids gets out and starts drinking alcohol and gets drunk and gets hurt, gets killed, or gets hurt or kills someone else, I mean, it just can't happen. You're going to have to watch what you're doing, okay? And I know I'm chewing on you, but I don't know what else to do to tell you, but try to scare you, because the next time you come in here, these other commissioners, they may revoke it totally.
Right, I understand.
If you do that, then your business is going to close. You're not going to be a operator. You just told Commissioner Escaday 65% of your sales are, that's what it is.
Right. I
So
understand.
please, I mean, I don't want to see it happen, but please, make sure you get this under control, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? Let's vote, please. Passes. He'll pay a $750 fine. It's a second violator. I do want to reiterate Mr. Dominic's statement that due to us all dropping the ball, you dodged the bullet today. It's a gift. So I wish you the best, and I hope you're successful. And please keep it together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sheriff's Department have any other business here today? All right. Anybody else? Mr. Epperson?
Yes, sir. I guess this will be directed to legal. Now, the copy of the ordinance I have, this is what we applied our penalties today. Am I correct?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
Okay, but I don't understand why we got section 4-118 on here. We got a number from the clerk's office. Everything is signed by the Caddo Parish Commission clerk, but we're saying that 4-118 is not about posting this ordinance in the bill. That's what I'm talking about. I don't understand.
No, we're not. Ken, the committee met, and I believe you were out in Baton Rouge the last time we met, and discussed whether or not this was necessary, because they're made aware of these before they get their AVO cards and with their license and all. And I think the committee had decided that we were going to recommend, and we just haven't done it, that we take that out of the ordinance. It's just, we felt it was unnecessary, but it hadn't been done. There's some confusion about that, Ken. That's
it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if we, well, I see it's the law. I mean, what was the confusion about it, other than when they come down, you require them to get a copy of this and post it?
Well, they all have copies. They have copies. We know everybody's got copies now.
Okay. Right. Well, what's the problem with them posting it? Because otherwise, we ought to go ahead and meet and take it out, because
as I said, the committee recommended we take it out, and I guess you can blame me. It's my fault. I just haven't sponsored the necessary paperwork to amend the ordinance.
Okay. Well, we would, since that went through committee, let's put that up on our next agenda where we can remove it, and then we have an ordinance that's been full
Can you take care of that, Todd?
That's what.
Thank you.
Also, just an idea, it appears as though we are having problems with finding out where we serve legal notifications. Is there a possibility that we should look in the licensing process? Basically when you register a business, I know when you get your charters or your licenses, there's a legal deal, say, place of due process. I know in most corporations or whatever it is, you have to have a place where someone can send your legal process to.
Actually, Commissioner, I think one of the reasons that the committee delayed sponsoring anything before the body was we changed it so that the sheriff's deputies were actually making the service, and you all wanted to have your next hearing before you could see if the procedures worked. And so I defer to Mr. Hopkins as to whether everybody was served or not in accordance.
Everyone was, the first time after they got their violation, they received a letter, which for most was the address we used from purchasing, which is where the license application, everything's put into. When I get that, I take that information and get that address. A letter is sent first of the offense. If there has been an offense that happened on this date, you will receive a letter later, notification of public hearing. When that hearing is set, the Sheriff's Department hand delivers that to the business. So that's how that's done now.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, we were having problems with employees signing certified mail and not getting it to the appropriate person, and people not even noting that we're in violation. Anyone else have any business? Deputies, thank you. This hearing is closed.
A lot of these, I mean, they don't.
I mean, they're not paying them $15 an hour, you know, you can't.
But even if they were, they don't have the ultimate control. I mean, now, if you have just one place that sells it, you might still, but you got several.
Yes, sir. I'm going to copy the letter.